Someday maybe I can go to Mars. People say Mars is pretty far, but it's not that far for a kid like me. 'Cause I've got a magic bike, you see. My magic bike takes me where I wanna go, over the clouds and through the snow. And I never get lost 'cause it's not hard to come back down in my own backyard. Well, I've got a magic bike. It takes me any place I like. You can go with me, it seats too. I'll share my magic bike with you, on the moon or in the Amazon. Where I am is where I belong. I close my eyes and I am gone. I can just kind of pedal on. Well, I've got a magic bike. It takes me any place I like. You can go with me, it seats too. I'll share my magic bike with you. Someday maybe we'll go underneath the sea. Just my bike and you and me. And we'll do things that fishes do. We'll be singing fishy songs and wearing fishy shoes. Well, I've got a magic bike. It takes me any place I like. You can go with me, it seats too. I'll share my magic bike with you. Well, I've got a magic bike. It takes me any place I like. You can go with me, it seats too. I'll share my magic bike with you. I've got a magic bike. It takes me any place I like. You can go with me, it seats too. I'll share my magic bike with you. Hop on!
Oh my my, there's a cricket in the bathtub, cricket in the bathtub, cricket in the bathtub. Oh my my, there's a cricket in the bathtub, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my my, cricket in the bathtub. Oh my my, cricket in the bathtub. Oh my my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night.
Oh my my, there's a donkey in the cornfield, donkey in the cornfield, donkey in the cornfield. Oh my my, there's a donkey in the cornfield, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my my, donkey in the cornfield. Oh my my, donkey in the cornfield. Oh my my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night.
Oh my my, there's a cow in the kitchen, cow in the kitchen, cow in the kitchen. Oh my my, there's a cow in the kitchen, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my my, cow in the kitchen. Oh my my, cow in the kitchen. Oh my my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night.
Oh my my, there's a pig in the parlor, pig in the parlor, pig in the parlor. Oh my, there's a pig in the parlor, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my, pig in the parlor. Oh my, pig in the parlor. Oh my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night.
Oh my, there's a cat in the covers, cat in the covers, cat in the covers. Oh my, there's a cat in the covers, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my, cat in the covers. Oh my, cat in the covers. Oh my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my, there's a hound in the hayloft, hound in the hayloft, hound in the hayloft. Oh my, there's a hound in the hayloft, driving me crazy in the middle of the night. Oh my, hound in the hayloft. Oh my, hound in the hayloft. Oh my, driving me crazy in the middle of the night.
Life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. The frog sits quiet on a lily pad as he waits for dinner to come. An unsuspecting bug flies by, the frog zaps him with its tongue. Life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. The sunfish cruise the leaves below as they sense that lunch is near. A moth dips down to take a swim. He's fish food now, I fear. Life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. The frog sits quietly on the bank, digesting his lunch in the sun. The snake is waiting, coiled in the grass. I think his dinner is done. Dinner time! Life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. The fisherman sits with his toes in the sand, watching this fishing line. The mosquito lands upon his neck. Ouch, it's dinner time. Oh, life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. The fisherman dreams of trout on and dean, hopes he won't snag an old shoe. A trout sees a minnow, doesn't know that it's bait. I wonder who's eating who. Oh, life around the lily pond has a picnic atmosphere. Frogs and turtles and tadpoles too. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air. Dragons in the air, dragons in the air.
if it wasn't for my muscles, all my bones would fall apart. Whenever I have an appointment, my muscles always get me there. I always take a little ointment in case they need a little tender loving care. I've got muscles in the back of my head. I've got muscles where my little tootsies tread. Some of them are hidden and some of them stick out. I'm singing this song with the muscles in my mouth. I use muscles when I'm rowing in a boat. I use muscles when I shimmy up a rope. I use them every time I swim, and anytime I'm in the gym, the chances that I won't use them are slim. Well, I have got a lot of muscles, and among them is my heart. Well, if it wasn't for my muscles, all my bones would fall apart. Whenever I have an appointment, my muscles always get me there. I always take a little ointment in case they need a little tender loving care. I've got muscles just for playing jacks. I've got muscles just for knick-knack, paddywhack. I've got them almost everywhere. They're even on my derriere. I haven't yet found any muscles on my hair. I use muscles when I burp and blink. I use muscles when you really wouldn't think. I use them every time I frown, and anytime I make a sound, I always know my muscles are around. I'm usually in command of what they do, but when I broke that vase, it really wasn't me. My muscles were the ones that threw the shoe. I've got muscles in my cheeks and toes. I suppose there's even muscles in my nose. They help me every time I breathe. And when my hamster makes me sneeze, I always keep my muscles close to me. I'm so amazed at their diversity. They even made me set my hamster free.
I've seen a lot of strange critters. Some they made me laugh and some gave me the jitters. But I wasn't prepared for what I happened to see on a trip down under. I just couldn't believe it. It was called a koala.
Called a koala.
It was called a koala.
Called a koala.
It was called a koala.
Called a koala.
Called a koala, koala, koala. At first I thought of running, but I just stood and stared. It's only 'cause it's fat and fuzzy that I wasn't scared. It's got a nose like a hockey puck and beady little eyes. Can't tell what it's thinking 'cause it always looks surprised. It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
Called a koala, koala, koala. Huge fuzzy ears, had them for years. Soft as a couch, comes from a pouch. He sleeps all day, he eats all night. He sniffs the perfect leaf and he takes a little bite. He tries to look important, and although it is in fact, it's just hard to keep from laughing at a face like that. It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
It's called a koala.
Called a koala.
It's called a koala, koala, koala. Sleeps in the trees, eats the eucalyptus leaves. Comes from Australia, it's got no tail. Yeah, called a koala. called a koala. It's called a koala. It's called a koala. Called a koala. It's called a koala, koala, koala. It's called a koala. Called a koala. It's called a koala. Called a koala. It's called a koala. Called a koala. It's called a koala, koala, koala. It's called a koala, koala, koala. It's called a koala, koala, koala.
Who can say where rain comes from? I bet no one knows. I think there's a giant plum wearing clouds for clothes and dripping plum juice everywhere it goes. How did creatures come to be? It's so hard to say. I think there's a great big tree growing every day and dropping creature seeds along the way. And I think everything looks real good. And I think the world is working pretty much like it should. What's the reason birds can fly? It's a mystery. There's a special girl or guy setting spirits free and letting wings just be what wings will be. And I think everything looks real good. And I think the world is working pretty much like it should. And I think everything looks real good. And I think the world is working pretty much like it should.
I dig a big little hole all day, I dig a big little tunnel all the way. I dig a little bit and I dig a little more. And I dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty bones are sore. I just heard the captain say, Trench, she's a-comin' one fine day, but this here mountain's in the way, and a tunnel must be dug. Now a tunnel must be dug. So I dig a big little, 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 I. The captain came to check our toil. The day was hot as lantern oil. He said, work faster, that their train is 50 miles away now, 50 miles away. So I dig a bigger little hole all day. I dig a bigger little tunnel all the way. I dig a little bit and I dig a little more. And I dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty bones are sore. Now we're all breaking such a sweat. The train is getting closer yet. The captain just might lose his bet. It's 20 miles away now, 20 miles away. So I dig a bigger little, 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 I. Well, the captain's chewing his nails again. The smokestacks are coming around the bend. If we're not finished, that's the end. She's 5 miles away now, 5 miles away. So I dig a bigger little hole all day. I dig a bigger little tunnel all the way. I dig a little bit and I dig a little more. And I dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty bones are sore. Well, I can't believe it, but we're finally done. The train is here and it's time to run back the way that we just come. She's right on our tails now, right on our tails. So I dig a bigger little, 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 I dig a bigger little hole all day. I dig a bigger little tunnel all the way. I dig a little bit and I dig a little more. And I dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty, dig into my little bitty bones are sore.
As he went for some more of that jam, that green chili jam, that jam, that green chili jam. There's just nothing like it, that green chili jam, that jam, that green chili jam, that jam, that green chili jam. The next time your mom says you must clean your plate and you're looking at something that isn't that great, just turn to your mother, say, "Mother, I can. If you will please pass me that green chili jam, that jam, 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 that green chili jam."
bony little knees. How did I wind up with these bony little knees? My friends all tell me that I'm perfect. They say that no one can compare. They talk about my perfect profile, my perfect nose, my perfect hair. But I know something that they don't know, and I'm afraid to let it out. I wear long pants so that they won't show. They'll laugh and shout if they find out about my bony little knees. Bony little knees. Bony little knees. How did I wind up with these bony little knees? You ought to see me on a skateboard. Admirers make me stop and pose. It's then I'm grateful for my knee pads. No one can see, nobody knows about my bony little knees. Bony little knees. Bony little knees. How did I wind up with these bony little knees? Why can't I be like the rest? It's time I got this off my chest. Life would be so very fine if my hips and my ankles were connected by a straight line. I dropped a quarter at the movies, so I went crawling down the aisle, and that is when it finally hit me. I'm not alone, I had to smile at all those bony little knees. Bony little knees. Bony little knees. Everyone wound up with these bony little knees. You gotta love them, bony little knees. Let's all just hug them, bony little knees.
There are trees in California that grow so big and tall, you could saw your way to China and you'd never see them fall. Well, I've been there and I've seen those trees and think they're mighty fine, but they do not hold a candle when they're standing next to mine. 'Cause I got this tree I planted about a year or so ago. It's got leaves and stems and all the things that trees need when they grow. There are trees, they say, in Brooklyn that can withstand any pain. They thrive on the pollution and they don't need any rain. Well, these trees, I've never seen them, but to trees I'd give a hand. You could probably take the dirt away and they'd find a way to stand. 'Cause I got this seed I planted about a year or so ago. It's got leaves and stems and all the things that trees need when they grow. Well, I've seen the mighty willow and I've seen the lowly plum, and with all this talk of progress, never seen a tree to run. With the high demand for lumber, there is one thing that I know, that this little tree I planted is safe upon my stereo. As the branches reach and ramble and the roots begin to grow, and my roof begins to crumble from the pressure down below, I will think of the beginnings of this little tiny seed, and how water, dirt, and sunshine are all a good tree like mine needs. I got this seed I planted about a year or so ago. It's got leaves and stems and all the things that trees need when they grow.
Bailey thought he'd buy 1 billion baseballs to bat, so he wouldn't have to worry where all his friends were at. He could hit those balls to Kansas, and if they never came back, he'd just pick up another one and give it a whack. He could do it all himself. He wouldn't need a friend at all. He could always be the batter. He'd never have to chase the ball. Well, Bailey didn't realize how much space he would need. To hold 1 billion baseballs is a lot of space indeed. If he didn't stack them, just laid them on the ground, it would make a giant square that was 80 miles around. Well, he didn't have that kind of room. He'd put them in the yard. He'd stack them up against the house. That couldn't be too hard. He took his father's measuring stick. He had to be precise. He measured every inch of space. In fact, he did it twice. The yard was 30 feet by 30 feet, a perfect space indeed. But then he had to figure out how tall a ladder he would need. He added and subtracted, and then he said, "Oh my! I will need a ladder that is 30 miles high." He could stack them like a building and build steps into the walls. It'd be 11,000 stories high, made completely out of balls. He'd have to stack them carefully or the balls would all fall down, and then he'd really have a mess with baseballs all over town. Let's see. If he stacked the balls 1 per second, he could stack 60 in a minute, 3,600 in an hour, 86,400 in a day, 31,536,000 in a year. It would take him at least 34 1/2 years to stack the balls. He'd be 44 years old. He didn't have that kind of time. He would need help. He'd call up every friend he knew. He was sure they'd help him stack. They could even bring their baseball bats and they could take a whack. They'd stack a few and hit a few, unless of course it rained. They could even choose up teams and play a baseball game. Then he began to understand the concept of it all. If you have at least 2 people, you only need 1 ball. One person hits the baseball, it's the other's turn to catch. Then everybody gets a turn, and the ball keeps coming back.
On the bottom of my foot, and I just finished lacing up my skates. That's what I did right after carefully I put 5 pairs of socks on. Isn't that just great? Someone call a doctor, someone get a judge. Ask them what it's gonna take to get my foot to budge. They can light a fire there and I won't hold a grudge. Please somebody help me.
I feel fine and everything would work.
It's just this little tiny itch that's driving me berserk.
Everything is comfortable except one little patch.
And it's in one of those places that was made for someone else to scratch. I've got a tickle in the middle of my back, and my arms are just a couple inches short. Just in case there's anybody keeping track, I don't think it's funny, this could go to court. Someone call a doctor, someone get a judge. Tell them I'll do anything, tell them I've got fudge. They can use a pitchfork and I won't hold a grudge. Please somebody help me.
I feel fine and everything would work.
It's just this little tiny tiny itch that's driving me berserk.
Everything is comfortable except one little patch.
And it's in one of those places that was made for someone else to scratch.
Please, I'll get on my knees.
Give my back a little scratch. I think I have fleas. I've got a tickle in the back of my throat, and I'm right in the middle of a speech. Suddenly I sound exactly like a goat, and it itches so far back there. Someone call a doctor, someone get a judge. Tell them I'll do anything, I'll give them all my fudge. They can make me eat a Brillo pad and I won't hold a grudge. Please somebody help me.
I'd feel fine and everything would work.
It's just this little tiny itch that's driving me berserk.
Everything is comfortable except one little patch.
And it's in one of those places that was made for someone else to scratch.
This is a song about language discrepancies. Language is important to human communication. Language is a particular style of verbal expression. Discrepancies are inconsistencies or a disagreement.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They are not.
R2.
Are not.
R2.
Not.
2.
Are not.
If a single cat is just a cat, a group of cat is cats.
If a single bat is just a bat, a bunch of bat is bats. It's octopus alone, but in a crowd it's octopi.
So if a buffalo shows up with his friends, are they called buffali?
A single goose is just a goose, but several goose are geese.
A group of hippopotami must be hippopotamies.
Language discrepancies, they'll bring you to your knees. One goose is goose, two goose is geese, one moose is moose.
Two moose is moose.
I don't think that's right.
Yes, it is. One fish is fish.
Two fish is fish.
What would three fish be?
I'm pretty sure that'd still be fish.
How about 4,853,562 and a half?
Ooh, that would be fishes.
Fishes?
Fish eye? Fishies. Fish is. Fish. That would be a whole bunch of fish. Is. I don't think that other moose thing is right.
Oh, come on. Give me a break.
Come September, May, or June, I'll jump up and touch the moon. Turn around and count to 3. I can be what I want to be. Dark, light, short, or tall, makes no difference at all. Now I'm coming to the end. Best of all, I'll be your friend.
I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, walking with my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I say it out loud. Ooh-wee, look at me, I'm up here where you ought to be. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I mean it, I'm proud. Way up there in the brilliant sky, there's an idea that caught my eye. It's so beautiful, it's so fine, I'm gonna touch it and make it mine. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, walking with my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I say it out loud. Ooh-wee, look at me. I'm up here where you ought to be. I'm a dreamer. Hey, hey, dreaming and I mean it, I'm proud.
Some days when I play make-believe, I find a magic wand up my sleeve. It turns silver and it turns blue, and then it changes me and it changes you, 'cause I'm a
Dreamer, hey, hey, walking with my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I say it out loud. Ooh-wee, look at me.
I'm up here where you ought to be.
I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I mean it, I'm proud.
I found something in the woods. It was shiny and pretty good. I just watched and let it be, and it did something good for me.
'Cause I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, walking with my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I say it out loud. Ooh-wee, look at me.
I'm up here where you ought to be.
I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I mean it, I'm proud. Every night when I go to bed,
Something happens in my head.
There's no telling what I might find,
because there's hidden treasures buried in my mind. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, walking with my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I say it out loud. Ooh-wee, look at me. I'm up here where you ought to be. I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, dreaming and I mean it, I'm proud. 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 I'm a dreamer, hey, hey, 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 I'm a dreamer.